Most church members assume that young adults are going to follow a pattern from the 1950s and 1960s, and that is you give young church members 4 years off from church when they go to college. And they go and they explore whatever they want to do, and then they settle down and they get married and they have kids, and then they come back to church. There is really no compelling evidence to show that that is going to happen.
A nation forged on faith and religious principle. Fast forward more than 200 years later, and the numbers tell us religion is losing its influence here in America. A whopping 77% of Americans recently polled make that claim, the most negative evaluation of religion's influence in this nation since 1970. Any reason to believe it will recover, or is this just the passing of time and societal evolution that is unstoppable? Welcome to MidPoint. Dan Barker is the co-president of Freedom from Religion Foundation. And Greg Young is a pastor and host of the syndicated radio program, The Chosen Generation. Gentlemen, I thank you both for joining us today.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Greg, I'm going to start with you first. When you look at these numbers, 77% of Americans' religion losing its influence, you have to be shocked by that. I would imagine that there's even a part of you that doesn't want to believe it.
Well, actually, I don't think that it's bad news at all. I think at least we have people that are waking up to the realization that their Christian liberties and their religious from them. Remember that the Pew Report recently said that 78% of Americans still claim to be Christian. So that's a pretty dominant number. So to say that the 77% who are realizing that Christianity is losing its influence in the public, I don't think that that's negative at all. In fact, I think
how do you mix that, though? Let me get that point, because if you have 78% of the people that are Christian and 77% of the people believe it's losing its influence in America, how do you make sense of that?
Well, we have to discuss what it is they mean by losing its influence. Obviously, organizations like Freedom for Religion are saying that Christianity doesn't belong in the public anymore. I mean, they're going after crosses, they're going after children, they're going after veterans. I think that what's happening is that these individuals are clearly saying that when they look at the rape statistics, the murder statistics, the gang violence statistics, the drug cartels, human trafficking, racial tensions, pedophilia, the destruction of family model, destabilization of communities, economic malfeasance, the rise of ISIS, more kids born out of wedlock, sexually transmitted disease on the rise, missing co-eds, suicide rates. These are all signs that I'm sure have led to the conclusion by intelligent, reasoning people that religion in America, specifically Christianity, has been driven from the public.
All right, let me go ahead then, because I think I got to bring Dan in on this right now, because a couple of things have now been thrown at your feet, Dan.
Yeah, I think a lot of religious people, including this pastor, are concerned that America is becoming less religious because, in fact, it is. We are becoming a more secular society. We are putting aside the religious divisiveness of the past and becoming more moral and less religious. All of those issues that our friend just quoted are moral issues. They're not religious issues. The way to solve them is not by belief in some spook in the sky or committing certain rituals or believing in a contradictory and uninspiring holy book. The way to solve them is by using reason and intelligence. And as the study points out, not only do about a quarter of Americans now not identify with religion at all, which is a good thing because it brings us more together.
Well,
but
Greg,
about a third of young people are staying away from church. They are growing up. They're going beyond religion. And I think this pastor's worried about the fact that over the past century, the religious right has been consistently losing its battles.
okay, hang on one sec, Dan. Go ahead, Greg.
I didn't indicate to you in any way, shape, or form, Dan, that I'm worried about it. I'm actually encouraged by the fact that individuals are recognizing the damage that you're doing. And I think it's really something that you and I here today are with a guy who claims to be smarter than God. I mean, it's
No, I don't think he said that at all. I don't think he said he's smarter than God.
I am smarter than God, actually.
Okay, well, there you go. I guess then you are.
I am smarter and kinder than the God of the Bible.
I was going to say that because I've read his autobiography and I know what he has to say about Christians and how ignorant he believes that Christians are. So he's calling 78% of America ignorant.
All right, hang on one sec. Greg, are you calling 78% of Americans ignorant?
No, I said Dan is calling.
No, Dan is. I'm sorry, Dan. Dan, are you calling 78% of Americans ignorant?
78% of Americans are very kind, very smart people, but they are uninformed about their own religion. The Bible is a horrible moral guide. Society would be much better off putting that book on the shelf alongside other mythologies and getting down to the real business of solving real problems in the real world.
Bible and God and prayer out has brought us increased rates. You can go back. All you need to do, Dan, is look at the statistics. Look at the crime statistics. Look at where we sit today. Look at the number of violent crimes. Respond to any of the things that I said as it relates to the issues that exist today, and tell me that society, you're drinking out of the same Kool-Aid as the guys in the White House.
Well, Greg, you're blaming a lot of that on atheism. Greg, you're blaming a lot of that on atheism, or just the fact that they don't believe in God?
State the whole question, Ed, if you would, please.
I said you're blaming those things on atheism and the fact they do not believe in God, then, correct?
No, what I'm saying is that people's recognition that Christianity and religion have been driven from the public sphere is clearly rooted in what they see happening in society today. That's what I'm saying.
All right, so Greg, it comes to you then, because certainly the pastor has this feeling, and a lot of people do. They feel that driving religion out of society is what's the trouble with society today, and they blame people such as yourself for doing that.
Well, our group is not trying to drive religion out of the public sphere. We welcome religion at the table. We're trying to drive it out of the religious square, out of government. If the government gets involved and the government is not neutral, then it's picking sides. We think this pastor and I should sit down and discuss these issues. These are very serious moral issues that I think can be solved much better without religion. And how do you connect the dots between the rise in all of these issues, which, in fact, if you look at society in other ways, there's been a great improvement in women's rights and in civil rights and in gay rights.
Hold on one sec, Greg. Pastor, please hold on one sec. Dan, please finish.
So what I'm saying is not driving religion out of the public sphere. We're not barging into your church and interfering with your freedom to worship. Our efforts are aimed at the government. When the government violates the First Amendment,
you're in communities that you haven't been invited. You've attacked football teams by telling them they can't put a cross on the back of their field.
Oh, no, we still got you, Pastor. It's all right. We got disconnected. I think but unfortunately, we're out of time here. We're going to have to bring this back another time, because it certainly seems as if that maybe we do need to sit everybody down and have a discussion about religion and its part in it, instead of just going back and forth and maybe making charges against one another. Dan and Greg, thank you so much, gentlemen. I appreciate your time. We'll do it again. Thank you.
God bless you
Later
guys.
on this hour, politics, Sunday morning TV, and all that should be remembered. And after the break, it may be a picture of you, but you don't own it. That and a lot more coming up on MidPoint.